Hello, the internet. Queeve here. I hope you're well. This is going to be the next in the series of 3 and 3, which is 3 interesting-ish facts about one of my books given to you in the space of 3 minutes. Now, we're going to do McGarry Stateside Book 2, I Have Sinned Today. So without further ado, let's start the clock and away we go. Right, interesting fact number 1 about this. It's a very good example of my attitude towards research. Now, research is a thing you hear about a lot with authors. Every time I go to authors' events, you hear them talking about how much research they've done and all of this. And look, in some areas of writing, it makes absolute sense to do that, particularly historical stuff, all like that. I'll be honest, when it comes to crime stuff, a lot of authors spend a lot of time figuring out exact criminal procedures and how guns work, and they're obsessed. Oh, these, how this gun works, and this one has a safety, and this one doesn't, and stuff. I don't really do that kind of stuff, in the sense that if you're looking for something Tom Clancy-esque with a page-long description of how a warship works, I'm not the one for you. If you want some idiot who's just having a bit of fun, then I'm more thing. But I do research certain things, and this book's a good example. In particular, the people dressed in costumes in Times Square in New York. Diller is doing that as a job at the start of this book. I spent a lot of time researching that because that sort of stuff I find fascinating, that weird side of humanity. And without going into much detail, there's some great stories there. There's some cracking examples. Apparently, I think Elmo was the one. There's been several Elmos who work there, and there have been Elmo fights, drunken fights between various Elmos in New York Times Square. Have a Google. I spent several hours going through these weird stories and loved it. And that is the kind of stuff I research. If you want someone who's going to spend a page tell you how a certain gun works, I'm not the author for you. But if you like somebody slightly obsessed about weird people in costumes, I'm your boy. Fact number 2, Brooklyn takes a big part in this book, which is no coincidence, because myself and Wonder Wife went to New York to do research for Disaster Inc. and this book, and we love Brooklyn. If you're going to New York, biggest tip, this is more of a holiday tip than it is a thing with the book, get out of Manhattan. Manhattan is overrated, overcrowded, and far too expensive. Go to Brooklyn, have a wander around, it's great, do the walking tour. The story I really wanted to get in, the research I really wanted to get into this book that just didn't fit, was a story of Brooklyn Bridge. That is worth a trip to New York on its own. It's amazing. It effectively got built by a woman who wasn't technically allowed to hold any kind of a job at the time. I don't think she even had the vote. And she basically built one of the world's greatest architectural achievements while having to do it because her husband was in bed. Phenomenal story. Speaking of women doing stuff for themselves, number 3, how are we doing for time? Pretty badly. Never mind. The Sisters of the Saint appear in this book. Now, they have appeared before in my books. There was... and they started off in Angels in the Moonlight, which is Bernadette and Assumpta. And then I did The Sister's Gonna Work It Out, which was a novella that you probably read. It's in the free book you can get if you sign up to the mailing list. If not, but yeah, that was the one where I kind of came up with the idea of the Sister of the Saint, this sort of frankly kick-ass group of nuns. And in this book, we kind of really start finding out. They really start spreading their rings. You meet Dion and Zoya, who two are the key members of the Sister of the Saint. And people are fascinated by them. It's like one of the most common things we get in emails is people asking about the Sister of the Saint, and people particularly, will they ever get their own book? I can tell you, I honestly don't know. They do feature a lot in this book and a lot in the next book in this series, and they will be featuring throughout this series. They are a lot of fun. I am tempted to write a book with them, but I've also got many other book ideas on the go. So you never know, but let me put it this way, this is the book. If you like the Sister of the Saint, check out I Have Sinned, because it's the one they really start spreading their wings and flying. Anyway, that is completely over time, 3 hours and 47 seconds, but I said ish, that's ish. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed that. Until next time, fare thee well.